Yeah, I'm trying to unmute myself. Uh, uh, well, that was a tour de force on what is happening in India, and the book is marvelous. I had the opportunity to read the book a few months ago and even discussed it with Ashutosh. And there are a few points that I want to make that will just summarize some of the issues that he has already discussed. The first thing that as a political scientist, I found very scary is the phenomena of state capture. So what happens is that when political parties become very dominant, they begin to capture institutions themselves. So people who share their values and their ideological vision become controllers of institutions like the investigative, law enforcement, judiciary, etc. So even so, for example, we see this here in the United States, where Donald Trump is pretty confident that the Supreme Court is going to back many of his decisions because it is 6-3. So you can see that there is a capture of the judiciary, at least at the Supreme Court level, by the Republican ideology. So similarly, in India, in his book he goes on to show how specifically in certain sections, especially in the media and other government institutions, the RSS ideology and the people who are members of RSS and ideologically committed to the vision of Hindu Rashtra have captured the state and its vision. The second phenomena that I find fascinating is this assertion that the reason why India did not become a Hindu Rashtra in 1947, even though Pakistan did become an Islamic state, is because of its civilizational ethos. And I find that very interesting because we assume that Pakistan does not have the same civilizational ethos that India has. That's why Pakistan became an ideological state in 1947, and India did not become an ideological state in 1947. But the fact that in order to create a Hindu Rashtra, so even if we accept that as a fact, it is very frightening because RSS now, in order to make India a Hindu Rashtra, is actually not only going after the Indian constitution, but actually going after India's civilizational ethos. So it's going to destroy the 5,000-year civilization of India, which prevented India from becoming an ideological state in 1947. So in order to create an ideological state in 2025, they have to go after that 5,000 years of traditions, values, and ethos in order to be able to create. So to me, that is fascinating because uh, BJP and RSS are not just targeting the Indian constitution, but they are targeting the very idea of India or the idea of Bharat as a civilization in order to create a Bharat of their vision. It is also troubling that there is lack of clarity about what a Hindu Rashtra really is. So, what are they striving towards? And because there's no clarity on where they are going, they seem to have a clarity in what they don't want. And that is Muslim and other minorities and Muslims in the present and Muslims in the past. And so trying to erase Islam and Muslims from India. And so they assume that what will be left is Hindu Rashtra or Hindu society or Hindu majority. The third point that I do want to make is that not only is RSS captured state institutions, but they have also radicalized the population to a great extent. So there has been a very systematic radicalization of a segment of the Hindu population in India, which is extremely intolerant, and that intolerance is becoming like a weapon. It can actually be used against anybody. It can be used against minorities, it can be used against Dalits, it can even be used against upper caste Hindus who are not on board with the RSS agenda. And I think for a country that seeks to become a major global power, that is going to be very problematic because you have basically vaccinated the population with a very nasty virus that is transported not just in India but all over the world. So when are Indian diaspora in the United States going to start lynching people for eating at Burger King or McDonald's is my question. Will they start doing this here, or And some people say in a humorous way that cows in America are not gods, but they are just gods within India's territorial boundaries. There is one more point I would like to make, and then I will hand the floor to those who are seeking to. I'm sure there are going to be lots of questions. Is that ironically, I think it is Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, and other minorities who have now become the guardians of the Indian Constitution. So that traditional civilization of India, which created a secular democratic India in 1947, is not only the guardian of Indian minorities, but actually the Indian minorities are now seeking to guard that vision along with the constitution in order to maintain India as a non-Hindutva state. And my final point is that there has been serious damage done to India on the economic front, on the cultural front. So, for example, India was growing at a much faster pace before 2014. So from 2004 to 2014, you can see India was growing at close to 9%, and now it has dropped by more than 1.5%. Uh, and not only that, India has become a more unequal India in the economic terms. India has never been this unequal as it is at the moment. The wealth concentration in the hands of a caste and rich Indians has increased every time or with continuously under the current regime. So there are these economic fault lines which are also being created. These fault lines are very scary. They could even question the territorial integrity of India, especially if you look at the north-south divide, which is a divide between the richer south and the poorer north and the more democratically powerful north because of population and the basically shrinking south in terms of population and power. So there are certain fault lines which could become very devastating in their consequence if the BJP continues to basically chip away at India's constitution and its traditional ethos of tolerance and pluralism. So I'm going to stop with that and then let people ask questions. I already see a lot of hands up there. Thank you.
Thank you, Muqtadar Sahab. And let's go into the question and answer. But before that, I have a regular announcement for upcoming Saturday.